I'm going to be using for this test is the Russian 7-6 surplus 5.45x39. What I got here is about a 3/8 inch steel plate that we were shooting at with the 7-6. And if you look here, it's gone through it up to at about 50 yards and closer. And from a little bit further back, I think we moved back to 75 yards. It was going in, not quite making it through the other side. And then we had backed up to 100 yards and gotten something about like this. Now these here were where we had a 4x4 in front of them, and the yod coming out the back and still went pretty far into the plate. I was a little bit surprised. Well, what we got here is a railroad tie plate. It's about an inch thick steel, and we're going to shoot that with the 7-6 at 100 yards. And here we have 5.45 into an inch thick steel plate at 100 yards. This is the 7-6 surplus. Made a pretty good dent in it. I'm actually kind of surprised. So let's try it at 50 yards. And there we are to show you 50 yards. 5.45. Didn't go that much farther into it at 50 yards, so here you go. This is going to be a penetration test at 100 yards using two 4x4s. This will be 100 yards. Alright, here we go. Bullet entered here, came out there, entered the second one, and exited there, and then went into the wall of the berm. So at 100 yards, it went through two 4x4s. And probably went through the whole damn thing. You can't tell. And here we go. We got two 1-gallon jugs of water. We're going to shoot these with the 7-6 surplus 5.45x39 at 100 yards also. Yeah, well, there you go. You hit it at 100 yards. That's what happens to it. That could be your head. Here's a nice piece of wax. I'm holding it with newspaper because it's all gross, but we're going to try and hit this with a 5.45 at 100 yards and see what happens. Well, you can see where I grazed a hole in the bottom of it. And it passed through and went into the edge of the berm. So let's try it again at 50 yards. And we hit it a few times, and it pretty much just cracked in half and made a mess. there you go. Here's your, well, there's an entrance hole. Pretty big exit hole. Got two entrance holes there and some exit ones there. Well, wax wasn't as cool as I thought it'd be, but there you go. Here's a regular cinder block, well, half of one. Got the airspace in it. I put wax in it. But let's shoot it with some 5 and we'll go to 100 yards with this and see what it does to cinder block in 100 yards. Alright, I don't know what happened. My camera turned off when I went to shoot this, but this is what 5.45x39 did to the cinder block at 100 yards. It went through. See, it went through the first part. Get this shit out of there. And it, I don't know if you can see it, partially the energy kept going and kind of made powder out of the back end, but for what it is, for a 5.45 round, I'm surprised it did a lot of damage. So there you go, that's the 5.45x39 at 100 yards into a cinder block.